Pals, it is top of the hour. You know what that means? We got our lecture starting right about now. All right, Apathec, everything show rolling? All right, so the stream is live now, so please be aware. Thank you, everybody, for joining for our monthly DGen Tech lecture. For those who are watching on the stream, DGen Tech is a group of professional furries on VR, and right now we're on VRChat. We are all professionals in the STEM field: science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medical. And today we are going to have our CorlissLamont, who will be giving a lecture on Yellowstone and the Northern Plains on the petrology and mineralogy of Yellowstone. This is intended to be the first of a series, so please clap your paws together for Corliss. Come on up. Oh, and once again, if you guys want to have a personal conversation, go in the back corners. There are sound isolation zones. Thank you.
Hey gang, how's it going? Let me grab this tablet here. There we are. All right. So, hey gang. My name is Corliss, BSc in biology with an emphasis on cell physiology, minor in environmental science. I took this as a biology credit, but it was an application of many different multidisciplinary studies all in one traveling lecture, as well as a practical, including collecting samples and donating it to my university. And after that, I graduated in 2022, summer of 2022. And right now, this part is going to be the first of a series starting with Petrology Mineralogy, discussing about the study, the rocks that can be commonly found in Yellowstone National Park and in the Upper Great Plains. And pay attention, because there's going to be a little quiz in the middle of the lecture, because igneous rocks are so interesting, very diverse, and it teases us for studying other rocks later down the line, and tees us up for the next in the series about plate tectonics. Now, without further ado, let's see. So, right here is the Yellowstone region and the Upper Great Plains. Let me just grab it. There is no red pen here. There it is.
Sorry, my fault.
No, you good. So, Yellowstone National Park is right here, right over here. Black Hills, of course, is labeled right there. And on the field study, we traveled all the way through here and then head right back, where we made stops at Roosevelt National Park, Glendive, Montana, Cook City, Beartooth Mountain, the Absaroka Mountains, and Yellowstone itself. And we also stopped off at the Black Hills, which is also a holy site of the Lakota tribe, and also houses Bear Lodge, or as people would know it as Devil's Tower. Proper name is Matatapala, which is a giant laccolith in that area. But a lot of the pictures that you're going to see in the lecture essentially is taken right over here in Yellowstone and in northern Wyoming. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So, what is petrology and mineralogy? Petrology is the study of rocks, and it is a branch of geology that studies rocks, their mineralogy, composition, texture, and conditions of which it's formed. There are three subdivisions of petrology, which includes igneous petrology, sedimentary petrology, and metamorphic petrology. And mineralogy is the study of the chemistry, crystal structure, and the physical, including optical properties of minerals. It's just to give us a general understanding before we move forward. Not a whole lot of people major in geology. There was one person that I met in this room studying geology, and I'm super hyped for this person because geology, such a unique topic, very rich, and also it's pretty interesting learning about rocks and the things that, oh, well, what the heck is this? It's just a plain old rock, but it tells us a lot about the natural history of the world that we live in. Now, let's see. But what do rocks tell us? Igneous rocks found in Yellowstone, it used to be, actually, it's still an active volcanic site. And Absaroka Mountain, which are used to be an extinct volcano, we can find igneous rocks there, Black Hills, Beartooth Mountain, places with volcanic activity. You will commonly see igneous rocks in that area. We can find sedimentary rocks all over, and it tells us there were once great seas covering most of the United States. And metamorphic rocks need pressure or heat. We can find them where mountains were built or volcanoes erupted. They'll be found in Black Hills, the mountains of mountains of the Yellowstone region. Now, this chart is going to help us understand the different categories and characteristics of igneous rocks. Igneous rocks come from the cooling of molten rock, magma or lava, magma without oxygen, lava with oxygen. And the broadest classification of igneous rocks is based on their silica to iron magnesium ratios. And their second classification scheme is based on the crystal size. Felsic rocks have a high silica and low iron magnesium content, such as rhyolite or granite. The magma in which these rocks come from is very stiff because of that high silica content. Intermediate rocks have an intermediate amount of silica and iron magnesium content, like andesite and diorite. Mafic rocks have a low silica but high iron magnesium content, like basalt and gabbro, and the magma is very flowy. Ultramafic rocks have very low silica but high in iron and magnesium, very flowy, but in Yellowstone National Park, where the caldera events happen, it's not like typical volcanoes where you have this giant thing bulging out of the crust and spewing lava out around the land. No, the caldera events was an explosive event in which gas formed cracks into the crust, causing the soil above to collapse, thus leading to a giant explosion of our Earth's crust, spraying across most of the United States during this event. It was a very violent point in this continent's natural history. Coarse-grained rocks cooled slowly, usually in big chambers underground. Granite, diorite, gabbro, they do have coarse grains. Fine-grained rocks cooled quickly are usually found on the surface or in small cracks in cool country rock like rhyolite, andesite, basalt. Porphyries have both big and small crystals. They initially cooled slowly, big crystal phase, and then quickly and the small crystal phase. Obsidian is just volcanic glass, no crystal formation. But to help us out, like remembering, there we go. Okay, this is clickable. We're learning things. Well, oh my goodness. Scrolling my notes here. So there's 2 mnemonics to help us out, keeping the important bits, important classifications of igneous rocks in mind when we look at igneous rocks later in the lecture. The first one is granny-dyed gabbing. And this is for our big crystal igneous rocks right up there, large crystal size right there. And it stands for granite, diorite, gabbro, from left to right. High silica, low iron, high iron. The next one, this is a lot more useful here, is for our small crystal size igneous rocks. And the mnemonic is red and black. Red and black. Rhyolite, andesite, basalt. And it turns out that rhyolite is red and basalt is black. Keep that in mind. There we go. But why do different igneous rock have different minerals? The first point is as molten magma, which is a melt, cools, crystals form. The next part is the minerals crystallize at different temperatures. In general, minerals with high iron magnesium content crystallize first at high temperatures. High silica content crystallize later at lower temperatures. Some rock have different minerals due to fraction. Oh my God! One sec. When you talk, your mouth dries up like a rock. I swear. Thank you. I know, I'll be here all week. But some rock have different minerals due to fractional crystallization. As crystal forms, they can settle out of a melt. Since high iron magnesium and low silica minerals crystallize first, they deplete the melt of iron and magnesium and enrich it for silica. That allows only high silica minerals to form. And the final part, the original composition of a melt can also affect which minerals form. Melts high in silica tend to form granites, which may have high silica minerals, and melts high in iron magnesium tend to form gabbro, which have many iron magnesium rich minerals. There we go. But the important igneous minerals that we need to keep mind of, dark minerals such as biotite, amphibole, pyroxene, are high in iron magnesium. They are black, crystallize at high temperatures, and are found in high to low silica rock, but more so prevalent in rock that are high in iron magnesium and low in silica. Quartz is pure silica. Looks like glass, and it can have many colors due to contaminants, but is usually gray or clear. Quartz crystallize last at low temperatures, and as magma cools, silica goes into minerals that crystallize before quartz. If silica is left over, quartz forms. Quartz indicates fractional crystallization or high silica melts that form high silica rocks like granite. K-spar is a type of feldspar with potassium, represented as K, for all your chemistry nerds here, oh my gosh, usually pink. It is primarily found in high silica rocks. Plagioclase is the second feldspar and is usually white or greenish. Instead of potassium, it has calcium or sodium, and it can be found from high to low silica rocks, but more so in the low silica rocks. There we go. Now, this one's a bit of a doozy. When it comes down to how we understand that these minerals, they don't happen all over the place. There's a logic that we've found out from Canadian petrologist Norman L. Bowen, petrologist who went to the Carnegie Institution for Science of Washington from 1912 to 1937, and he observed natural rocks sequence of crystallizations in common with silicate minerals from basaltic magma undergoing fractional crystallization. Bowen's reaction series explains how certain types of minerals tend to be found together while others never associate with one another. Piscine, amphibole, and biotite are lumped together as dark minerals and are relatively high in iron magnesium. K-spar, muscovite, quartz, high in silica. And anorthite and oligoclase are types of plagioclase feldspars. Mafic rocks, basalt, gabbro, again high in magnesium. Intermediate rocks, andesite, diorite, intermediate ratio of silica to iron magnesium. Felsic rocks, rhyolite, granite, are high in silica. The four take-home messages when it comes down to the Bowman reaction series and basically what was described before is that all of the minerals in the table have varying amounts of silica in them. What's important is the silica to iron magnesium ratio. That's why we're hammering that in. Dark minerals are high in iron magnesium and low in silica, while quartz and K-spar, high in silica, low in iron magnesium. Different minerals crystallize at different temperatures. Minerals that are high in iron magnesium crystallize at higher temperatures, while minerals that are high in silica crystallize at low temperatures. Now, different rocks have different minerals in them, mafic rocks, dark minerals, felsic rocks, K-spar, quartz, what have you. But depending on the minerals in the rock, you can tell if they came from the sources that I'm hammering down here. But it can also tell you if the melt underwent fractional crystallization. In the continuous series of plagioclase feldspars, the calcium-rich feldspar crystallized first at high temperature, and as the melt cools, they change to sodium-rich feldspars. One of the arrows over there we're describing right here, the inner one right here. This occurs in much the same way as the discontinuous series, except instead of distinct minerals, there is a continuous series of minerals from 100% calcium to 100% sodium. if a melt is rich in calcium or sodium, the plagioclase feldspars form. And if it's rich in potassium, the feldspar will be K-spar. The plagioclase is white or greenish, K-spar pink. If you see granites that are white, then they have plagioclase, while pink granites have K-spar. But how can a melt produce felsic rocks such as granite or mafic rocks such as gabbro with fractional crystallization? As a melt cools and mineral crystallizes, the early minerals that crystallize at higher temperatures, dark minerals, pyroxene, amphibole, biotite, tend to suck up the iron and magnesium. It's sucking that up from this cooling effect. And if they settle out of the melt, they deplete the melt for iron and magnesium and enrich it for silica. As the iron magnesium is depleted, only minerals high in silica, like your K-spar, muscovite, and quartz, can form. Felsic rocks, such as granite, can form this way. The dark minerals that settle out form the mafic rocks. The original composition of the melt affects the outcome. If the melt is high in silica and low in iron and magnesium, by the time the melt cools to biotite, no iron and magnesium remains. The high silica minerals, your K-spar, muscovite, quartz, they form producing a felsic rock such as granite. On the other hand, if the melt is low in silica, high in magnesium, then all of the silica is used up before biotite or the high silica minerals crystallize. The melt then forms mafic rock such as gabbro. And here is essentially the table of what we're talking about, but it also gives us our characteristics here. Quartz being transparent or translucent, K-spar being opaque, plagioclase being opaque, muscovite being clear but smoky or a light brown mica, biotite being black or dark brown mica, amphibole being dark green or black, have black crystals, pyroxene, dark green, black crystal, or I'm gonna sincerely apologize here. The last one, I'm gonna butcher so hard. Tourmaline? There we go. Tourmaline will come out as opaque. Now get ready, folks. We're gonna be segueing into the quiz. But here, as a quick last review, with granite, the color could be white or pink. Feldspars, quartz have dark minerals. The crystal size is large. It can have high silica, low iron magnesium. Rhyolite can be red, pink, gray, or green. Fine crystal or none. Obsidian is going to be glass, so it's going to be black or gray. Diorite, dark gray to light gray. Large crystal, andesite, dark gray to light gray. With fine or no crystal, gabbro, large crystal, dark green, black, and so on and so forth. But take a good look at this chart real quick, because this will help us figuring out which rocks are which. Are you ready? All right, let's go. Let's do it. All right. So, can anyone in the audience try to discern what this rock is?
Granite. Granite.
Someone said granite. That's correct.
Granite.
What's in it?
Minecraft saves me.
Oh, man, I could.
Base?
I can't even. I'm on like
Yeah, I got
2
K-Spar.
screens,
Someone
so
said K-Spar.
30 seconds.
Let's
for it
be
to
honest,
come
where else
up.
do we know it from?
I want to say Rhyolite.
Oh wait, there's multiple in here.
It's definitely granite. So someone got it correct. It's granite with quartz, dark minerals, and K-spar. The yellow arrow is pointing at the K-spar. Red arrow pointing at the quartz. There. And the blue arrow is pointing at the dark mineral. Bonus points if you can guess the dark mineral.
Crave
I,
dark mineral.
Obsidian?
It's biotite.
Taking a picture of it.
Let's try the next one.
What?
So this right here, anyone give a guess?
Is that diorite?
No.
Feldspar.
Damn.
This almost like reminds me of
So-
quartz in a way.
I'll give you a hint, y'all.
Oh.
One thing's different. Of the characteristics, one thing is different here.
Wait, granite mineral.
No more K-spar.
Someone said granite. Someone said K-spar is different. So this is granite with plagioclase, which is a white feldspar. The yellow arrow is pointing at the plagioclase. The red arrow is pointing at the quartz. And the blue arrow is pointing at the dark mineral, which is biotite.
Okay.
Let's try this one.
Oh, big crystal.
I'll give you a hint. Someone said it before.
Chessboard?
Diorite.
That's a lot of options.
Someone said diorite. Someone said diorite. Let's go, dude.
I studied.
So, yeah, let's go, dude. Let's go. So, diorite, it's an intermediate silica rock with large crystals. So, the yellow arrow is pointing at the plagioclase, and the blue arrow is pointing at the dark mineral, which is the biotite. There is not enough silica to form quartz.
Oh.
Let's try the next one.
Okay, hold on.
Very.
It's not a whole lot of
Get fresh out of my smoker. That's what that is.
true. It does look like a brisket, but
The salt? Alright, the screen
Is this the
resolution, I can't
salt?
tell if those are visible crystals or not.
so those I do apologize for the low qual image, but there is some crystal going on there. It's a low silica rock with crystal, and only dark mineral is
So then-
present.
So then would it be Gabbro?
It would be Gabbro. Let's go, dude. Let's fucking go, dude. Oh my goodness. This is Gabbro, man.
This was like every lecture I go to.
Yeah,
Everyone's just too anxious to answer the
Oh,
questions.
yeah, I really should have said the diagram.
I know. I'm hyped for rocks, man.
One can tell.
So let's try this next one. Let's try the next one.
Sandstone.
Slab.
It's a high silica rock and it has small crystals going on here.
It's coreless colored.
It's not quartz.
What was the other one?
Let's see if this silica stayed.
Not white or glassy. Definitely silica hanging out in there. Has small crystallization, but it's pinkish.
Back to K-spar.
Wouldn't that be Rhyolite then? If it was the...
Red it? Yeah, red and black, red and black. Let's go, dude. So this is rhyolite. Let's try this next one.
Oh, it's pretty.
Oh, jeez.
There has to be a table of these somewhere.
It's an intermediate silica rock, and there is porphyry in here. You got large pyrocene crystals going on here. Those crystals, look here. Yep.
If it's the if it's like if there's no quartz, wouldn't it be diorite again? Because it has the crystal visible crystals.
Well, it is an intermediate rock. Granny, dyed, gabbing, red and black.
So is it andesite? That's the
Andesite, let's go, dude.
Boy, you wanted to say it too.
But don't we have visible
I couldn't
crystals
remember
though?
the full name.
Hey,
But
so andesite, it's an intermediate silica rock, has porphyry, large crystals formed. And they form slowly, and the gray ground mass made from a very fine crystal forming quickly. So an andesite can have pyrocene crystals going on here. Intermediate rocks are tricky. Let's try this one.
Basalt?
This is our last one.
Very-
Someone said basalt. Someone said basalt.
No.
Let's go,
It's a very
man.
rock-looking rock.
Yeah,
It's the most
it's a
rock-looking
very
rock I've ever
rock. It's very rocky.
Yeah.
That's a rock right there.
I swear, basalt is the most rock you're ever gonna see. And he rocked that answer, man.
For fuck's sake.
But that's pretty much the end of the igneous rock section. The later sections, they're going to be much shorter because we're going to be talking about sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. Now, sedimentary rocks, they come in three types: clastic, biochemical, and chemical. Clastic rocks are made up when they're broken down, made up of broken down particles or class of other rocks ranging in size from silt to boulders, and they're deposited by wind, ice, water, volcanic explosions like the caldera vents. Biochemical sedimentary rocks can be made in two different ways: the accumulation of the remains of organisms, shells, plants, etc., or by precipitation, where organisms change the local chemistry of the water, promoting precipitation of minerals like calcite. That's the chemical CaCO3. Third type is chemical sedimentary rock, and they're formed when minerals precipitate from aqueous solutions without living organisms involved. There we go. So the first type, the features of clastic sedimentary rock, home stretch, y'all. Class are moved into the site of deposition by fluid, wind, water, ice. The size and shape of the class can tell us a lot about how the sedimentary rock was formed. Bigger the class, the more energy it took to move it. Shale made from silt formed in a low energy environment, but with sandstone is made from sand, is intermediate in energy, and conglomerate, which has big class formed from high energy environments. The shape of the class can tell us several things. The distance, well-rounded class being moved from much further than angular class, and also tells us the type of fluid. Water tends to round the class, and wind tends to form angular class. So with these rocks right here, they didn't go down too far. Probably a rock slide has occurred. Probably heavy winds in this area. This picture was taken near Beartooth Mountain Now, features of biochemical sedimentary rock. Biochemical sedimentary rock involve living organisms. Rocks can be made up of fossils, and it can come from actual remains of organisms like plants, which form from coal or shells to form limestone. Fossils also help tell us where rocks are deposited. A T-Rex fossil would not be expected in rocks in a deep ocean environment. And living organisms change the chemistry of their environment, and that can cause precipitation of minerals, travertine precipitates, when bacteria and algae alter the environment where they are living. Right there, right here, that's a fossil there. Big creature passed away a while ago, and when we were hiking through Montana, there was already surveyors around planning on digging that up. I got your pink flags right there to map out, like, hey, this is going to be an active site soon. Isn't that fun? Oh my gosh. Now, over here, this was directly at Yellowstone, right by, near where what was it? It was just on the road of the geysers.
Mammoth Hot Springs?
Mammoth Hot Springs, there we go. Yep. Chemically deposited sedimentary rocks are due to non-living changes in the chemistry of the environment. Evaporites are rocks that form as water evaporates and the salts are left behind. Rock, salt, and gypsum form as a sea evaporates. And calcite is a coating that forms when a film of water dries. Changes in the temperature of water can cause minerals to precipitate. Sinter, travertine form when hot, mineral-related water cools. Changes in gas dissolved in water can cause minerals to precipitate. Travertine precipitates when CO2 enter the water. So over here we have a handy-dandy chart of sedimentary rocks that are common around Yellowstone and the upper Great Plains. Sandstone, usually found in beaches, rivers, sand dunes, and high-energy environments, and can show cross-bedding. This also helps us out with understanding the plate tectonics that have occurred in Yellowstone National Park. Shale, the class is fine mud, whitewater, low energy environments such as deep water, black lagoons, or bays. Conglomerate, large class, and small cobbles, ash, and sand come from very high energy environments such as volcanic explosions, like from the caldera events. And we have other sedimentary rocks: welded tuff, sinter, agate, gypsum, limestone, dolomite, coal, and clinker. Now, fun little thing that fun little story. I've also talked to one of the folks here about it. Has anyone here heard of the phrase "where the coal meets the clinker"? So the phrase "where the coal meets the clinker," if you go to Roosevelt National Park, you see all this sedimentary rock that form these giant haystacks, buttes, and what's topping these haystacks and buttes is a pink rock called clinker that used to be clay that was baked. And how that got baked was in the sediment, there's strands of what used to be plants, but now it's turned to coal, just underneath these haystacks and buttes. Now, in such an environment, Roosevelt National Park exists in a shortgrass prairie, and shortgrass prairie reproduces through burnings, wildfires, stuff like that. And when the shortgrass prairie fire ignites, that travels to these bands of coal that exist in the sediment, and that inevitably catches fire. And once it catches fire, it bakes the clay on top of these haystacks and buttes, turning that clay into a natural brick called clinker. Isn't that wonderful? And this is the shortest section here. Last section, very short, are the types of metamorphic rocks. And they're derived from other rocks that have been altered. The only thing that differentiates from metamorphic rocks from other rocks is that when these other rocks form, they undergo immense pressure and heat that changes their characteristics. Like how I mentioned coal, for example. When there is enough pressure and heat, it no longer becomes coal. It actually becomes a different sort of rock called, what's the one? Anthracite. There we go. Other rocks that have gone through it, like Nisus, high grade, high pressure and or temperature metamorphic rock, in generally massive, has bands or swirls of dark mineral, light minerals, and some pink minerals, and they're commonly found in Beartooth Mountain and the Black Hills. Schist, medium-grade metamorphic rock, typically has plate-like minerals such as micas, and it is foliated, minerals flaking off. One of the minerals often found in schist is garnet, which is found in Black Hills. Marble, limestone, or dolomite that has been metamorphosized by heat, such as a volcano, like back when Absaroka Mountain was active. Quartzite is a sandstone metamorphed by heat impression, which you can commonly find in Baraboo Hills. Now, like I said, the shortest section, because the only thing special about these rocks is just heat and pressure and sharing of material. But this concludes the first part of our Yellowstone and Upper Great Plains series, Petrology and Mineralogy. And in the future, we're going to be talking about plate tectonics and how plate tectonics has helped form the geography or geology of Yellowstone National Park. Again, thank you everyone for listening to me ramble about rocks for, I think, 30 minutes. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Corliss. Now starts the Q&A section. If anybody has any questions, please, we'll put the microphone in front of the stage and we can form a queue.
This Corliss almost gets thrown away.
I hope to God I only spoke for 30 minutes. Was it a lot longer?
It was about 40, but it's fine.
Oh, yeah.
More
All right.
rocks.
Oh, I have a question. So
Yo.
when igneous rock forms, is the melt usually pretty similar composition, and then it separates based off of cooling, or are the melts sometimes different compositions?
The melts are sometimes in different compositions. It sections out based off of the temperature. Usually certain material sections out compared to others. Low temperature when the minerals of like quartz, K-spar comes about. But prior, actually, let me bring it back to that chart where it's talking about Norman. Good old Norman. There we go. Yep. Different sort of categories of rock, but it's very much dependent on the temperature and the composition of those melts. And when those melts go through that change in temperature, they end up sorting themselves out. It's why different material end up, you basically find various minerals clustered together rather than, okay, finding quartz in, was it olivine, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man.
I have a question. This was a field
Yeah.
study where you went to Yellowstone National Park, correct?
Yes.
Yes. I've been to Yellowstone National Park myself, and I got some pretty lurid memories about. It's just gosh dang gorgeous, really.
It's so beautiful, man.
Yeah. Anything that? What are your opinions about Yellowstone? Anything that sticks out in your mind about it?
Oh my God. It is one of the places that I would go back to every year. I would love to do that like every single year. Because it's still an active site, meaning that every time when you go back, things have changed every single time. And just the landscape there is so beautiful. Like this was a swimming hole that I went to. I really love jumping into the swimming hole after hiking and stuff. It's a really fun time. It's one of the few places I like to go to pretty much be with nature. Very chill, lots of sights to see, great hiking. And the places around, heads up, you don't collect samples from national parks. It's illegal. We actually collect samples outside of the national park area. And there's amazing places where you can find fossils. Glendive, Montana was one of those places in the general region. And it used to be back when the continent had an inland sea, all the sea life there, when the caldera events happened, killed off that life, and they end up getting washed up onto what was coastline. And you could just go there and just easily find baculites, Inoceramus, some of which you can have mother of pearl on it. The fossils I've collected for my field study that I donated to the university, no, they had like a lot of mother of pearl just walk out there. It was collected from behind a tire deposit. There's just like this giant stack of tires, and if you travel further out in the middle of nowhere, you can easily find like these fossils just hanging about. It's just a beautiful region, minus the tire deposit.
Yeah, nature's crazy.
And nature creates tire deposits, I guess. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Sedimentary tires.
Yeah, we got our sedimentary tires.
Yeah, tires are created by like tectonic activity. Anyone like with like a degree in tireism knows that exactly. Like they are like dug up from the ground.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then, like,
true.
collected.
You know,
Yeah, it's like how asbestos
the
grows on
earth
trees.
started shaking probably because of a moving rock called a car or something. And
Yeah.
there are these things, these organisms just dumping them in the middle of like nowhere, man.
Yeah,
crazy.
That is some very advanced mineralogy, though. Like, I'm sure, like, you can solve that in the future. We are all very happy for your contributions.
So tires are sedimentary.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Okay, I do have a question about the fractional crystallization you were talking about. So as the melt cools and then the higher temperature minerals start to crystallize and separate out the like iron and magnesium rich, how does that actually like physically work? Is this like crystals are forming and then like sinking to the bottom of the melt, or is it just kind of all mixed in there and you get chunks of the high iron and sections of the like higher silica?
It's basically the characteristics of the material that is separating out in such a high temperature environment. The material likes to hang out with each other, and once one starts separating out and cooling, coagulates together, that takes that iron, like for example iron magnesium, pulls that out and leaves behind the rest that later on crystallizes. Sometimes there's stuff that gets captured in, like how we find rocks like andesite with pyroxene, crystals like hanging out inside it. A general separation, but it ends up I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. But
So
with an intermediate
chemical
rock
separation,
like andesite,
physical thing?
it's chemical and physical when it comes down to the temperature and generally the material like hanging out with their own material
Interesting. Thank you.
in a general, yep. But is there any other questions?
You plan on making this into a series, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Next episode that I would love to do is on plate tectonics. And after that, then start talking about the biotic features of, there were some lectures I have done, that I have attended with various field experts, earth sign, lupine specialists, the introduction to Yellowstone, the introduction of wolves to Yellowstone was one of the parts of the lectures, and that was super interesting because the gentleman that talked with us, who was friends with my professor, was there since the 90s, just a bit after the first generation was introduced, a couple generations down, and he spoke about it as if it was he spoke of it as if it was like a story, how there's these different tribes of wolves that came about from the first generation and how they interacted with each other, how they nested, and how they hunted the overpopulating deer. Super interesting. I would love to talk more about it in the later episodes, but definitely what I'm wanting to do as a plan with the series is start bare fundamental, the rocks, then the tectonics, then the biotic features, then stuff that's more in depth, like with the bacteria that hangs out in the geyser pools in Yellowstone. That would be, I guess, the later final down the road. But, yeah. But again, thank you guys for listening to the lecture. I had a really nice time, and I had a very fun time making this lecture, and I can't wait to do more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Corliss, for that lecture. I hope you all enjoyed. Again, if you guys ever do get a chance to go to Yellowstone, that is definitely worth making whatever effort you can to go out. It is beautiful. So this concludes the formal portion of our meetup. So thank you very much for checking out and hanging out with Degen Tech Inc. and all the cool techie furs that make up this cool community. We will be hanging out here for another about 5-10 minutes. I do have an idea for a cooldown world. Unfortunately, I can't drop a portal to it, so I'll just tell all of you guys when we're making a hop over, and you'll have to use the social chat to join on. I'll tell you in a moment. So please, everybody, feel free to go converse, and just once again, try to stay off the stage.